Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I think we are good to go, and thank you all for coming to the inaugural Investing in Fuel Cell conference held by Nomura Code and Clean Tech Investor. So first, I'd like to cover a few housekeeping items. Firstly, by pointing out that we're not expecting a fire alarm test today. And also, please note that all sessions are being filmed today, and they're going to go on the Clean Tech Investor website and e-magazine. As you can see on the schedule, we have a busy program with 16 different speakers, so we'll do our best to keep things on track. And so I apologise in advance to any of the speakers if we start waving at you to hurry you on. So with that out of the way, I'd like to give a very brief introduction before handing over to our first speaker. And for this, I'd simply like to answer a question posed to me by a cynical investor or two. Why organise a conference on fuel cells, considering the sector's difficult track record? And having followed the sector for many years, I can empathise with some of those feelings. But now, I'm pleased to be able to point out there are a number of companies that have competitive commercial products and are rapidly growing commercial revenues. A number of these are also approaching the tipping point of profitability, and we're pleased to have some of these presenting today. We believe these successes will be defining for the sector following many years of challenging product development, some missed expectations and false dawns. Many of the promises of fuel cells still hold, such as greater efficiency, greater energy density, power density, giving greater performance and endurance, less moving parts, giving less noise, vibrations, greater reliability, and ultimately it will give lower costs. These attributes will enable fuel cells to displace heat engines and batteries in many, many different applications over the years to come. And we're already starting to see this today in certain markets where fuel cells are recording rapidly growing commercial sales and despite the difficult economic climate. In fact, Hyundai today, who we did hope would be presenting, has just announced in Paris that they're going to be launching the first series production of fuel cell vehicles, and that's going to be going into mass production in 2015. According to Pike Research, who we have presenting today, global revenues from fuel cells have already reached around $780 million this year. And however, more impressive is the potential from this sector, with this group forecasting that the sector is going to surpass $15 billion in the next 5 years. That's a compound annual growth rate of over 80%. With this kind of growth potential, we believe that once the first companies in the sector reach profitability, proving beyond doubt the economic potential, we think that investor interest will pick up again significantly. And for some companies, this profitability will potentially be reached as early as next calendar year. So we therefore hope today gives you a flavour of how far the sector has moved on in recent years and why this sector should resurge as a key area of interest for the investment community. Our first group of speakers comes from companies with 3 different high-efficiency fuel cell technologies, and all of these have already achieved significant commercial revenues which are growing rapidly. But first, please welcome our keynote speaker, Richard Kemp-Harper from the UK's Technology Strategy Board. Thank you.